Well, one reason power prices are going up is because of the carbon tax, and if you can believe some of those complaining about it, they're being gouged. And it's not just in the energy sector. But according to the competition regulator, the rip-offs are not as widespread as we may think. The head of the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission is Rod Sims, and I spoke with him earlier this evening. Rod Sims, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Only last week, the ACCC outed two energy-related companies over their carbon taxing pricing policies. But from the tone of your statement today, gouging over the carbon tax isn't actually a really big issue.
Oh, look, I think there's two things to say. One is that we are reasonably pleased that very few companies seem to be trying to take advantage of the carbon price to charge consumers excessively for the goods they're buying. So that's pleasing. We probably would have expected more complaints than we've had. That said, there are a few. We've got about 20 investigations underway where we do have serious concerns about consumer detriment in the sense that consumers will be paying more than they should be because people are taking advantage of the carbon price to justify prices. So look, most businesses are doing the right thing, but we have a few examples that are worrying us out there.
Now, I notice in your statement there are three sectors that you've singled out. They're landfill, building and construction and refrigerant gases. Are these where most complaints are coming from?
The most complaints we've had are in the energy sector. About 40% of the complaints have been energy. That's not surprising because, as we all know, energy prices, electricity prices are going up by 9 to 10% because of the carbon price. So it's not surprising that people are seeing that and ringing us to check that is in fact appropriate. But the cases where there's a lot of complexity are the ones you're mentioning. Those are cases where consumers are confused and also cases where I think we are finding issues that we're concerned about consumer detriment, and so we are pursuing them.
Now, we're less than 2 weeks into the carbon tax. Is the reality that for most businesses it's going to be many weeks, if not many months, until they know exactly what their cost structure is going to be with the carbon tax included?
Look, I think that's right. I mean, this is going to play out over a number of months. We would expect, it's going to be very interesting to see how the complaint data goes, and we'll be keeping people informed of that. But as you say, it's very early days. We had one lovely example, which your question reminds me of, where there was a bit of chicken in a store on Friday before the carbon tax selling at $5.99, and on Monday someone put it up to $6.99 and blamed the carbon tax for affecting the price of a bit of chicken that was there the day before the pricing regime came in. So it just illustrates that it is early days, and we'll see more of this happening as time goes on and as people really are affected by the flow through of the carbon price, because, as you know, it only affects a certain number of companies. The big effect that will come is the flow through.
So if you do see your chickens go up by $1 overnight, or even your suppliers putting their prices up to you as a business, and you feel you're being ripped off, what should you do?
You should, two things. You should, as I say, shop around if you can, because you shouldn't accept this at face value. Otherwise, in addition, call us on 1300 303 609, because we're keen to look into these things.
All right then, Rod Sims, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.